Hey gang, it's Paul Ramsey, and I am joined today by the one, the only, Tom Nicoli, who is talking. He's doing a one day. He's going to be talking all day for a whole day. But he's going to teach you how to create super success with weight loss clients. Now, in all seriousness, Tom and I go way back, so I joke around with him, but this is a one day pre-convention training. It's on Thursday, August 10th. You can spend the whole day with him. This is the only hypnosis weight loss program proven on national TV and in 40 different countries. Not many people can say that. How are you, Tom?
I'm good, Paul. It's really good to get together, even if it's virtual.
Yeah, it's cool. Hey, so let's assume that, there's an awful lot of people out there and someone's going to find this video who doesn't know you and doesn't know your story. Give us the short version of how you came to the profession.
Well, how I came to the profession was I was using this process that was an imagination process, right? An guided imagery process. Not guided, but self. And it was in a marketing book. And it was speaking about how it's not lack of action. You're reading this book. It's the way you think. So I started using it and it changed some of my behaviors. And I thought, what the hell is this? And I learned and realized it was hypnosis. So I started using it for myself. I used to manage people in a dental laboratory and I started using it with them. And I would just have meetings and say, just imagine this, guys, just close your eyes for a minute. Production went up, behaviors got better. It was really cool. So then I thought, as an entertainer, I've been playing music since I was 10, 47 years now. And I thought, that stage hypnosis stuff looks pretty entertaining and fun. Let me go check that out. So I got online, and this is in 1999, and saw that there was this NGH thing, this National Guild of Hypnotists. I was living in Massachusetts, there in New Hampshire. So I found there was an instructor in the city I was living in. So when I contacted him, he said, yeah, I could teach you that, but there's another side of it, And once he started telling me about hypnotherapy, it was like a cartoon, Paul. There was this light bulb in the air. I knew it was up there. That light bulb went off, and I haven't done anything other than this since.
Yeah. Which includes a lot. Like, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just the idea that 40 different countries, your reach.
Actually, it's 50 that people have used my audio systems, and 75 countries have downloaded something I've created.
Wow. Lots the point that I'm trying to make for those of you who are watching this, wherever you're watching this, is this is the kind of, this is what you come to the convention for, is to get access to people like Tom, who have decades of experience and who have achieved at a high level, and for you to get to learn so that your learning curve is steeper. You're getting more knowledge delivered in a shorter amount of time so that you can build success faster. That's what we're really looking for. And of all the things that you've done, which you've done a lot of different things with a lot of different people, I know that this is something that you present on every year. Why is this topic important to you, Tom?
Well, what had happened was I was doing a lot of deep emotional and physical disorder work, speaking at Harvard Medical School, delivering natural anesthesia, to these medical students. And it was all that work that allowed me to be so proficient with weight loss clients, because even though it's weight loss, stop smoking, and stress that we deal with when we begin, weight loss clients are the most difficult client there is. They have the emotional issues. They have the physical issues. They have behavioral issues. And it's usually more lifetime than not. It's more lengthy than just it started recently when they come see you. They emotionally, their self-esteem is in the gutter. It's horrible. So, and here's the peculiar part. It used to be my only prejudice: fat people. Because you're black, you're a girl, you're Puerto Rican, okay, no choice. But you're friggin' fat. I think you have a choice, right? So I used to think, what's your problem? Until I did this work and I started learning how behavior works in the mind and all that. And all of a sudden, there was more empathy and more understanding. And it wasn't like they woke up. Like, I even joke with people. I say, all right, tell me the day you woke up and you said, today my ass gets bigger and I feel worse about myself. And they go, well, never. I go, exactly. So it's not your fault. It's consciously, but it's your responsibility. So, and that is my way of getting them to stop beating up on themselves, because they're like, I'm such a loser, I can't do it. It's not intentional. So I started having a whole different approach to my attitude about people with, ill behaviors. Now, the reason why I became known as the weight loss hypnotist, it wasn't something I asked for, but universally, I obviously was meant to do this, is when I appeared on Dateline NBC 3 times over a 10-month period where they had the Ultimate Diet Challenge with 6 people going to their 25th high school reunion in Quincy, Massachusetts. And they had 6 different approaches to lose weight. They gave me a pastry chef. So when I asked the producer, Susan, are you stacking the deck? Are you really testing me? She goes, actually 5 of the 6 wanted to use hypnosis and work with you. So that was fantastic to hear, because that meant people were that much more aware of the process than they have been in the past, right? Now, this was back in 2003, and it went into 2004. Since then, during then, even the first episode aired in April, it got insane. So here I was, fairly new to the profession. I've been, 4 years in, and I had some skills. I was getting better. I wasn't where I am now, but I was getting better and proficient enough, efficient enough. And I was seeing people 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week until I got so fatigued I had to cut back. And I was still booked 3 months and had 80 to 100 people to book. It just kept coming. And when I cut back, I went to 100 people a week in the office. I had a couple of people on staff. I certified them, not certified them, but I trained them in my techniques. They were already certified, obviously. And then along the way, became a certified instructor. And, I took the path most of us take, right? And by the way, I have done stage shows too. So I did end up getting on stage and doing some shows in different parts of my career, which is fun as hell, as because, you kind of live there, right? And it all lends itself to the practice, which is what I learned. And that's, I'm sure, what you teach your students, is that when you get on stage and you learn how to be that guy, you bring those skills to the office, and it helps you be better in the office, man. So it was really cool that I did that. But anyway, time went on and I became known as that guy. But the beauty is, when you're efficient with these people and they get results, there's so much more that will come your way, because they have other issues, they have family members, and especially in this country, in America, it is your biggest market. Yeah. Other than stress and anxiety, it's your biggest market.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Well, and that is, that's one of those, I think most people who are looking at a career in hypnotism know that that's one of the chief areas that they have the potential to create, some revenue in. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those areas where I think we could have twice as many hypnotists today. We could wave a magic wand and have twice as many hypnotists tomorrow as we have today. We could still keep them all busy with how many people need,
God, yeah.
Right. It's really a pervasive problem. I think we all get so used to it, we don't really think about it, and we sort of take it for granted. It's a huge pervasive problem. And I think that the other thing that's important to keep in mind with that is, so there's a tremendous optimism there on the one hand, that there's room for all of us to do more work in that area. Mm-hmm. But then you come back to what you said before, and I completely 100% agree with you. It has been my experience that they are the most difficult clients to work with. And so, there's so much upside to tapping into that market, but then there's a lot of hard work that comes from really trying to get your skill set to a point where you can really be effective with these people, and not just have, for every 10 people coming through your door, 2 or 3 that are achieving meaningful weight loss, right? We want more. Right. We want to achieve more than that.
The first year I presented this one day at the Guild, and I used to never go to the convention, but back then when my ego was a lot different, Elsom Eldridge, who's my mentor, he called me and he said, "So you coming to the convention?" I said, "Have we ever met?" He's like, "Well, no." I said, "Yeah, I don't go," because I didn't realize the value. I really didn't. He said, "Well, we want to give you an award, the first of many, right?" And I said, "Okay, I'll be there." Thank God they lured me in.
Yeah.
Like a bass, I followed the lure, and it was the best decision I made. I've learned the value and how important it is. And then I got to meet the guys like Jerry Kine and Will Horton that I was watching on video cassettes, that I then became one of these dudes.
Right.
And I felt so blessed that they were talking about me the way I used to look up at them. And I'm like, wow, man, it's amazing what can happen, right? But let's go back to what you were saying about all the people and how many hypnotists we could have. Ormond McGill used to say, you can never have enough. And what I tell people is everyone breathing can use our services, because even if people are doing things very well, see, this is part of the problem too, and it's a good marketing strategy to understand. Most of the people in our profession are all problem focused. People with problem focus. Are you kidding me? How about all the people who are solution focused, who are excelling? They want to excel. They want to improve. That's their focus. They already do things well, whether it's athletes or people with health or people with whatever they do, but they still know they could be better. So there's always an opportunity to work with anybody. Not anyone is walking around and thinks, nah, there's nothing. I'm just perfect, you know? So we could never have enough people helping other people.
Right.
Never. And the beauty is in the culture of, in the society of America with this thing called weight loss, these people are so conditioned to tell everybody else, plus if they don't want to tell, they have to tell if they're losing weight, what's happening. But they're conditioned to programs and cost, and they will keep going and going and going, and they don't get results, and they keep paying. Now, when they get results, imagine how much more willing they are to compensate you for good work and results. So there's so much to this. Though you don't focus on the money, you focus on getting the results, and you'll make all the money you can imagine. But there's still a fantastic business model involved here, because it's a whole different thing than somebody who comes in with anxiety or they want to stop smoking. This is also maintenance and reinforcement. I just had somebody leave this morning, and she sees me once a month now, like a lot of my clients do, once they've gone through 6 or 12 or whatever sessions. And then it's reinforcement and maintenance. But there's a whole way you deliver that dialogue. There's a whole different structure in those those sessions, and that session work than you do in the beginning when you're initiating the change, you know?
Hey, that's, first of all, yes. Yes, and that makes sense to me, and that's great. I want to know, again, I think you have such a wealth of experience you've had. I mean, sheer numbers wise, not just time, you've got both. You've got the time spent in the industry and you've got the number of people that have come through your doorstep. Can you think of a time when something really catalyzed for you? Like I always say, like a light bulb moment where your work in this particular area, like really leapt forward, some kind of new understanding or a clicking for you that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I was thinking at first, not thinking, but observing and listening inside, that it was more like thrown into the fire, right? I had so many people, I was almost forced to get better. But there's also, as you know, there's some of us who just have something more natural than others. And I've learned to recognize that, though I used to not. I just go, yeah, anyone can do this. And then somebody said to me, stop saying that, because that's unfair. Not anyone can do it the way you do it. Not anyone can learn to be what some other people are, right? They can learn skills, but there's some stuff we have, like with musicians. There were kids I used to teach guitar, or guys I teach guitar to. And some of them just, they got it, and others, no matter what, they would never be able to do it. So anyway, what had happened was, and I still work with this guy, 10 years he's been a client. I'm in his circle with the chiropractor, the masseuse, and we're regular visits. And he's lost 100 pounds since I've worked with him, and changed his life dramatically because we work on all levels. It was him and some woman who, they weren't losing a pound. They weren't releasing any weight at all, any fat. And I sat there, and I'm always open. You know, I don't think this stuff at all. It's very, very intuitive based on what I know and plus what comes to me. And what came to me was a question. And I just thought, okay. And I asked, what purpose does the weight serve? Which sounds like a dumbass question at the time. Who the hell wants to have this weight? But we're talking subconscious, which is illogical. Like people go, it's so stupid. I'm so crazy. I can't believe it. No. It's not crazy. It's stupid. It's illogical. Okay. And when I asked this man that question, because they were doing all the right things, their behaviors changed, they were being active, nothing. And I'm thinking, it's physiologically like wrong.
Right.
But the mind can actually do things that
Yeah.
we've learned, right, that are far out. So his immediate response was protection. Protection how? The boys in the neighborhood, now he's in his 60s at the time. The boys in the neighborhood molest me. If I get fat, they'll leave me alone. I'm winging this, right? I go, did they? He goes like this. No. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I reframed how the strategy was brilliant, but it didn't work. We're all scientists. It's all trial and error. And he was able to release that, and boom, it started to go.
Yeah.
With the woman, and so folks, if you're listening, that's the question to ask. Because now hers was, I have to have a cross to bear to earn all the good things in my life. So she had this religious warped belief. We reframe that, boom, great.
Yeah.
So what I learned was this when it comes to weight loss clients. When you remove the emotional and mental weight they carry, their physical weight that matches the emotional and mental weight will go. So I started helping people release weight, but in a whole different place.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop you for just a minute because people need to understand. You guys, like what Tom just said to you is like worth
gold.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
You know how long it took me to learn?
Yeah.
How many hours of session?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a powerful model for understanding the work. It really, really is. And so, I mean, that's beautiful and amazing. And gosh, that's cool.
Well, listen to the metaphors, Paul. That's heavy on my mind. That weighed me down.
Yeah.
It felt so good to get off my chest.
Off my chest, weight off my chest.
And they'll even say after a session, and it's a peculiar look, they'll go, I don't know if this is right, but I feel lighter.
Yeah.
And they feel physically lighter. Yeah. And then I explain what I just did to you about the metaphors we use. And you're like, oh, yeah, because they got something off their mind.
Yeah.
Weight they carried, which created weight.
Yeah.
But
it's not enough just to point out how that language gets used, right? I mean, that's part of it, but that's not enough. It really, I think, is getting to the exact aspect that you identified, is getting them to understand the real function of their emotional weight. How does it really function for them? You know, that's important. It's so important. That's really, really great. So this is the stuff, you guys. This is the stuff that when you spend a day with Tom, you're going to draw from these kinds of things. You're going to draw from years and years and thousands of people that
literally,
that's his laboratory.
From 5 years old to 91 years old. And people have flown from, I think 12 other countries to work with me, and they've flown me to countries.
Yeah.
In every U.S. state they've driven or flown in except for Hawaii and Alaska.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So that's it, you guys. That's what you're looking for. If that's what you're looking for, you might say to yourself, I have no interest in working with weight loss clients. Okay, fine. Then this isn't the place for you. But if you do see the benefit of having this as part of your practice, this is the kind of thing that you should be really seriously considering as a way to enrich your skill set and your knowledge, your content development and all that kind of stuff. This is it. So,
well, there's one other thing I'd like to inject here, Paul.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody this about my D.E.P.T.H model. And D.E.P.T.H is an acronym: denial, emotional pain, truth, and honesty. And when I was asked to go on the NGH speaking tour that Don Martin does way back when, I thought, well, what the hell am I going to tell everybody? I just do my work. So I sat out in the sunroom and I'm looking at the stars and I'm thinking, oh, and it just pops. And I go, okay, ooh, hypnotists love that depth, deeper, ooh. And I thought, what does it mean? And all came. It all flowed. And I went, yeah, that's what I do. But it could be used for any issue.
Right.
So the beauty is we may be talking about weight loss and statistics and blah, blah, blah. Yep. I talk about how to put programs together, what D.E.P.T.H is, how it can help any issue. Yep. So even if it's not a weight loss client you're looking to help, you're going to learn more than just the techniques and the model, but also the business side, because I don't give a crap how good you are. If you don't know how to get anyone in your office, then you don't have a business. So I also talk marketing and strategies. And as you know, and a lot of people have heard me talk about how when I started with a 13-year-old Ford Escort with 136,000 miles on it, living in a 5-room apartment with my wife and young kid, struggling to get by. It was my third job building my career.
Wow.
Working as a musician, as a dental technician. And then let's throw another one on the fire. And I went from 0 to some seriously, seriously good success.
Yeah.
And it's because I went out and made all the mistakes. I went so far out in the branch, I heard it crack before I ran back to the tree trunk. And that's what I share. Not just all the things that go right. I tell you about all the things that when they go wrong, what to do and what to prepare for to prevent what could go wrong. Because I didn't have anyone guiding me. I was just all on my own out there, flying by the seat of my pants, watching every video I could. And there was no YouTube. There was no Google. None of this stuff existed, man. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
Now, shame on you if you don't create success when everything is available.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Listen, so this is it, guys. Just a reminder, we're talking, this is not during the convention. This is a full day before the convention, Thursday, August 10th, how to create super success with weight loss clients with Tom Nicoli. All right. You make sure you get in touch with the NGH folks and register for this in advance. I'm sure you could show up on the day probably and register. It's not like they're going to tell you no, but you'd be better off.
Yeah, but if you want my gem of a manual to take home with you, I'd advise you come, you register sooner so we know to print one for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, you guys. Tom, thank you so much for making time for me. I'm grateful.
It's my pleasure, Paul, always.
All right, we'll see you in August.
All right, take care.
All right.